Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the Zentangle Original Tangle, ICANTHIS. Now, if you notice, I have the can underlined because this is one of those tangles that I remember looking at thinking, oh, there's no way that I'm going to be able to do this one. And sure enough, just like a lot of tangles, following the step outs one step at a time, one stroke at a time, you can achieve this tangle. So it is a lot of fun. All right, so starting off with a curved line, kind of an S, however you like. And then we're going to add some more curved lines. These are kind of like branches, because this does end up looking like ICANTHIS, which is a plant. And what I like to do on these is going with the curves. I'm going to take and add a curved line there. I don't know if I want to add one right there or not. I do it with the natural curves of whatever I did first, just as a starting point. So like so. And then you kind of can go and fill in any extra ones. This one I'm feeling like is too low, but I think it'll be okay. Make that a little bit big there. And I think I shall leave it at that. Just for the simplicity's sake, and because this is supposed to be a Zentangle Quickie, and that will make it quick. All right. So the next step, after you have added the branches, as we'll call them, we're gonna add kind of an S shape and a backwards S shape. If you have done the tangle poke leaf, it is similar to that. Well, let's start right here, right where I have this aimed. All right. So I'm going to draw on this side, and we're not going to touch this. We're not going to touch this this line here. We're going to come a little bit a ways and a little bit back, from the end of it. And like that. Or you could think of it as half of a heart, but it's kind of this was a backwards S, and then this one is going to be the regular S. And it's sort of an S. We want to have them meet at the top there. And then so for every end, same thing. And I do like to make mine kind of bulbous. I mean, you could do it more of just a curved line if you want. That's where we all get to add our individual flair with these. All right, and then one more. And we're going to leave the base here as the base. All right. Then we're going to add some more curved lines. These are like U's, as you will see in the step out. And just a quick note, my step outs, I do them kind of as you read from left to right, then down, down a line left to right. Okay, so these U's, they kind of go in all of the crevices. So I'm going to have to put a little one here because that one is kind of tight in there. And so it's almost like whenever the direction changes, and and it doesn't have to be. It is kind of a curve line. It looks like a U. It could be spread out a little bit. And actually, right here, I'm going to put one, but I'm going to have it just spread out a little bit more. Let's see. And I'm aiming the end of, or the bottom of the curved line into. It's kind of like an intersection, right, where that's stemmed off. And I kind of like to do them for, all of the sides. And we'll see why shortly. And this is one where, as you do it, you see why you do it. And then the next time you do this, they're like, oh, okay, that's right. This is why I do this. And then, you can work from there. All right, the next step there's a video, I think it's when Rick and Maria from the co-founders of Zentangle introduced this, and I love the way she described it, and so I'm totally stealing it. She said, imagine for a moment for this next step that you've had one too many cups of coffee, or one too many whatever your choice source of caffeine is, and so your hand is jittery, and so we're going to draw jittery lines in between, and actually this one, well, I'll start with a longer one. So in between all of these points, so we're going to go from U to U, and we're going to, you get to decide what distance you want to stay away from that main line. But again, it's, it's just like that. And this is one of those where I take a deep breath, and I'm just like, I'm going on faith. It's going to look okay. It's going to be all right. And so from every point, as I mentioned, so each of these U-shaped curved lines, and then to the S shapes that we have there on the end. So we're going to connect all of those points with this caffeine-induced curvy line. And yeah, and I'm just, tell myself, it's going to be okay. You've done this one before. You know that this part, you kind of go, oh, cringe, it doesn't look right. And you know that in the end, there are no such thing as mistakes in Zentangle, and it's all going to look great. And then I kind of get to this point, I go, okay, all right, it's all right. It's all right. And then as we get towards the end, then you just go, oh my gosh, this is absolutely amazing. I can't believe I did that. All right, and I love these kind of tangles just for that, because because it just feels good to say, oh, look I did that again, even if I've done this one, a lot every single time. The internal part is the same. All right, next step, we're going to. It's kind of I'm feeling like I'm calling this reverse rounding. So where you put your U's, you're gonna add, kind of. We're gonna like elongate them, so almost like making a little V, and then filling it in. So as you can see here, and so and this is where sometimes I go, I should have only put those U's on, like here where you had this stark change in direction. But you know what? It works well, and actually at the end. Because as I was playing with this, I'm like, you know what? No, it still looks neat. You're just kind of adding some weight in that this area by doing this. And so for each of those, and then yeah, some of these, yeah, you have to remember where did you put that exactly. And this is also an opportunity if you didn't. Because we're just putting these U's in kind of somewhat blindly. No, and then, like I said, if you've done the tangle enough times, but sometimes it's like, for me, it's like, I still forget about that sometimes. So it does give the opportunity then, if you need to adjust the direction. So if it was off a little bit this way and you'd like it to turn a little bit, a different way, then you can just add that darkness, that little extra part of the V there. Or actually, no, we're turning the U almost into a V, aren't we? But you can adjust the angle of that if need be. And something like this one was rather close, so I'm kind of going back out this way and rounding it out this direction instead of going deeper in. All right, and then, okay, very good. Now, last step before we do some shading is we're going to kind of add like what's going to look like a fold over on these leaves. And the way it's essentially two little curved lines. And I know the way I decide to do them is I look at which side of the end, and we're only adding them to this, the end part. So I'm going to add this one to the bottom, and I'm going to start up here a little bit towards the tip, and just like that. So it's just, and this is what I'm going to add here. A lot of times I add them in that this fat part, but you can add them, wherever. This one is a little closer to the tip. That one is right on there. I think this one let's see what that looks like right from the tip, like that. Ooh, I think I might do this the same way, just because. And so it's a kind of a neat way to, I don't know, it looks really neat. You could do both sides if you want to. I think I might do that on this one just a little bit. Do a little one right there. All right, and that part is up to you. You could even leave some without, and that would be fine as well. Now, for some graphite, what we're going to first, I'm just going to put some graphite and shade in all of these new little spaces that we made. And then when it's tortillon time, then we will use the tortillon on them just to spread out that graphite. So sometimes you don't have to, have it hitting all the corners. You can do that with the tortillon. Now, I'm going to put some graphite just on the right side of this line, our original line, and then in our original stems. And then we'll use the tortillon and blend that. All right, here we go. So I'm just going to start off with these, and look at. I want to make sure I wasn't off the screen there. It's neat when you use the tortillon on the graphite. It smooths it out, and then you can kind of do like that and just kind of push it into those corners that you need to. You want to make sure you have a nice fine tipped one. Sometimes, well, and for me, because I'm working on a small piece, it helps to have one that has a nice fresh tip. All right, then I'm just going to smudge out this graphite, and you don't necessarily have to go to the edge. We're not necessarily coloring that whole side. You can decide if you want to do that or not. Excuse me. But just doing one side. Oh my gosh, that looks so cool. And there we have it. And if you have other ideas on how you want to shade it, of course you can do them however you want to. But this is a great way to do it, and I still look at that in absolute amazement that that I could do that. All right, let me share with you a couple examples. This was, of course, on a larger tile, and same idea, but you can kind of spread it out however you want. And actually, I mean, we start off with just that curve line. If you want to start off with something else, of course you can. And then this just has a nice, simple, light background to it. Just a grid with some dots in the corners. I don't know if that's an official tangle or not. I saw somebody do that, and I'm like, well, that's really cool. I'm gonna have to investigate and see if it is. And then this was another one that I had done, and I did a nice border. This is wood. I do have a video on that one. And then just grid lines in the back in green. This is done on a Renaissance tile, so we can have fun with adding some white highlight to the opposite side. I think it looks like this one. I'll say for the most part, it looks like I did the graphite on the same way, although I did flip it a couple places. But you put the graphite on one side and the highlight with the white charcoal pencil on the flip side. And it makes for a really, really neat effect. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and give this tangle a try. And in the description box, I have a link to my step out. I will put some other information about it. I will try to put a link in there to the video that I have mentioned, and just so that way you have all the information possible, so you can have the best experience with this tangle that's possible. So with that, oh, before I forget, if you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. I appreciate it a lot when I see those thumbs up, and feel free to comment if you like, and also to click subscribe if you're not subscribed already and you'd like to see or be notified of videos from me. And I know if you click the notification bell, then you can set the notifications. I did notice I just started getting some alerts on my phone from a place that I subscribe to, but I didn't necessarily want notifications on my phone. So check that. I just put none because it's, but if you want that, that is available also. But I just wanted to let you know about that. All right. Well, thanks so much and happy tangling.